sadness here because my morning was just one of those mornings where I was like, oh my goodness, here we are again, another crazy Monday with some crazy people. So, you all know I started off today on Lyft, and I was a little bit disappointed that. I got flagged, guys. I don't know if you guys are doing Lyft or thinking about doing Lyft. Just be mindful that they started out with this new thing where people can flag you for anything. And I had a conversation with Lyft in regards to that because when we get behind a Lyft as a driver, our background's checked. Our information has to go through fine tooth combs in order to become a Lyft driver or any driving app or any app in itself. You have to go through these process. But what I've narrowed this thing down is that we don't get the same treatment when it comes to driving passengers. Like they didn't have to run their background, so we don't know who we're carrying in the back of a car. As a Lyft driver for 2 years now, I registered for 2 years, and I just to started a year ago when I really start like doing onesie twosie, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little scared at the beginning, but what I came to find out is none of the people that's in the back of my car had to do any background check. So guess what? We have cuckoos in the back of the car. We have all type of people from all different backgrounds and cultures and customs that we have to carry along, and driving with a cuckoo in the back of your car sometimes can be a little bit overwhelmed because you're trying to keep your composure, but at the same time you're like, this is my car. So you can find yourself out. So this morning I was a little bit in my feelings because out of the whole time that I've been registered on Lyft, I've never had a scenario where somebody flagged me because I had to tell them what to do and what not to do for their safety. The second flag, I don't know what that came into, because the majority of the time people come into my car, they're the one that runs the conversation. Like I told you all a few videos back, I don't even want to have conversations with nobody. I want to pick you up, drop you off, and go get paid. That is my whole model for driving Lyft or any app. I want to get paid for that day. So that's what I go and do. I pick you up and I take you where you're supposed to go, and you pay me, and I go about my business. But so far, these last 2 weeks, I've noticed that I've been getting a lot of cuckoos. Like people with attitudes will come in, people that just don't want to be bothered. Well, I don't bother with them either, especially if they're going from point A to point B. I just pick them up, drop them off, a bit of good even, bye bye. Now, 2 weeks in total, I had about a few scenarios, a few of the individuals I just had to turn around and just, unlink myself from them. Hi, Sister Elvira. Hi, Louise, how are you? Louise, is it Louise? Oh my gosh, I always make mistake with that name. I think it's Louis or Louise. Either one of those. I apologize for your name, but welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute. It's so good to see you here. Um, but yeah, guys. So I had a few scenarios. I had to unlink myself from a certain amount of individuals for the last 2 weeks. It was just been a crazy week. So somebody decided they're going to turn around. Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. No problem. Understood. So like I was mentioning to you guys, all the crazy that I had, the guy that was in the back of my car, um, screaming through my window. That was another cuckoo. Came to find out that, he was off his meds and stuff. We as Lyft drivers, we don't know this, okay? They just tell us pick up from point A to point B. So I had a conversation with Lyft, and I said, you guys check our background. We don't know who's in the back of our car. We're just picking up and dropping off, but you guys won't check their background because for you guys, it's all about the money. You see, if they check backgrounds of people, 90% of people would not be able to take a Lyft ride because they have something in their background that basically would not allow them to drive in the cars. But Lyft is telling me I should report them. Well, let me tell you how this Lyft thing go. When you receive a ride, they don't make it easy for you to even call them, okay? If I receive a ride right now and I accept, and that person was a little off, and I say, one star. To go back to figure out to call the company, you got to go through a whole bunch of little steps. So before you could get through those steps, you either going to turn off, but before you could even get to turn off, they send you another ride. By the time you go through 3 or 4 rides, guess what happens, guys? You forgot about that ride because remember, you also in it for your money. You in it for your money, and Lyft is in it for their money. So you forgot that that person act a little cuckoo. You know you give them 1%, so you're hoping they don't send them back to you, which most of the time they don't send them back to you. But sometimes one or two will slip through the cracks where you did not get a chance to hit that little zero or that little one star to unattach them from you, and you may get them back again, like me and the guy that was screaming through my window a few weeks ago. And 2 days ago I picked him up again. I was like, oh my god, here he come again. He had a different scenario. You don't know who you're carrying in the back of your car. So because you don't know who you're carrying in the back of your car, now Lyft look like they have a little sheet that when you're driving that they go through with you to tell you, oh, you know, the checklist. Are you feeling safe? Is everything okay? Listen, as far as I know, every time somebody's on Lyft, is the passenger that attack the driver. I've never seen unless somebody just did something to the driver and they up pop up and just bust their face. That's the only time I would see one in a blue moon. Mainly is the passenger attacks the driver. So why is Lyft setting all these security measures to the passenger when the passenger is the one that we need to keep an eye on as a drivers, right? So they're getting all these messages. And what if a conversation that we had, just what if a conversation that we had, I could I had conversations from people that was they, them, and all over, all the colors, and they could say I may have said something that they don't agree with, and they could just flag me because they feel like I said something that was a little sensitive and they didn't agree with it, and that's how I could be flagged. That's the information right now that I don't like about Lyft. I should not be flagged, and my account should not be under any type of scrutiny because of somebody's else opinion. If they want me to drive on the platform, I give them a 5.0 customer satisfaction always, and I'm a platinum driver, by the way. So if you see that I get flagged consecutively for whatever the customer may say, I said you guys should have given me a courtesy call and have me explain my side of the story before you just put that on my profile. You know, so I'm a little bit in between, and I'm just talking out loud right now for those that's thinking about Lyft, thinking about going into this gig economy. They have the pros, they have the cons, but anytime you start consecutively doing something a little bit too much or a little bit too long, guess what happens, guys? You're gonna start. They're gonna start finding something in order to try to boot you out. So I may or may not be on Lyft for anytime soon longer because I'm already at 2 strikes and I don't know what and who I need to talk to because customer service they're telling me they can't go and see anything. So I guess I that's why I register on all the apps. Because when you register on all the apps and you get fired from one app, you could always go to a different app and you start that become your your next best thing next to sliced bread. Okay, I'm gonna sit there and I love no little sensitive whatever passengers to decide to flag me because they didn't like how I was or how I look. I didn't smile long enough. I smiled too much. I don't know. You know, you just don't know these days because um it is what it is. Some people you're not gonna please, and others, you know, you could try, but that's how life is. Hi, Sister Tanya, Brother John. Hope all is well with each and every one of you guys. It's Madness Monday, and today I'm having my little madness spasms that I just want to communicate with those to help the ones that's thinking about doing driving, that you're gonna have your good days, you're gonna have your bad days. Now you asked me how much I made. I made a really good whopping last weekend for the week. So the more rides that you do, the more craziness you're gonna encounter. So that's just the model right there. The more deliveries you do, the more crazies you're going to encounter. But overall, guys, is a beautiful thing. So if you have multiple apps, you can go, do a little bit here, do a little bit there. Don't focus in on just one app and do too much because those apps, too much. You know what? I mean, I'm a little bit in my feelings right now. I'm telling you the truth. So All I can say is make sure you are putting all your eggs in one basket, all your eggs in different basket. Not what don't put all your eggs in one basket. Let me rephrase that. Put your eggs in different baskets. Multi-app is nice. Do a little bit here, a little bit there, because when you start focusing in, you're gonna start really, really encountering some craziness, okay? And when you encounter craziness, now I didn't have no outrageous craziness like people pulling guns out and all that stuff, but you just have those little silent killers that come and smile with you and then report you because they have their issues with themselves or they're insecure with themselves, so they're going to report you because they can hit that button now that Lyft decide to give them access to. So your whole career of what you're trying to do the right thing can go down the drain in a blink of an eye. So just be cautious with that. Hi, Mrs. TNT. People are so ignorant, sis. Whoa, greetings, Paulette. We love you. No worries. God is still a provider in spite of the devil. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. That's kind words right there. Sometimes all you need is to keep each other encouraged. Yeah, the devil always trying. I didn't even know that little flag existed, but as you can see, it is a thing on your driving apps. So just be cautious that if you if you drive too slow now, you get flagged. I got flagged for driving. They say I was driving too slow. How you gonna drive on the highway slow? You have to at least do the minimum. And why you want me to get a flag for driving too fast? I want to get home to my kids. So that was a dumb flag. I mean, honestly, I can't wait for them to call me back if they ever call me back, because they know that what they're doing makes no darn sense and it's dumb. Okay, it's just very dumb, and I just feel a certain way today. Tomorrow I probably will feel so much better, but today, right now, when people is just trying to throw gasoline and strike the match on you for no reason, it's just very sad. It's very disappointing too. So, and like I say, sometimes your spirit just don't click with certain people and they do certain things just because they can do it from their standpoints. Now, I don't agree with no flagging people. If you get a lift, then I feel like the old way that they used to do, they could call and they could report the individual in, but now I guess they have all the little finger happiness that they could do and stuff. So anyway, and then the lady said, "Oh, you could have called me and call us when you get in situation." I said, "No, ma'am, you all need to run backgrounds on those passengers. That's what you need to do because we don't know. What if they don't like certain individuals picking them up too? So you all need to make sure you're not sending certain individuals in certain positions because." They just have a situations, okay? They just don't like certain things. They don't like how you smile. They don't like how your hair look. I don't know. Some people just cuckoo, okay, for Cocoa Puffs. All right. Mrs. TNT said, but I understand when you're fully dedicated to something, it does hurt. Yeah, I used to do Uber back in the day, and Uber Eats, they had a fatality, and the road